Hi, everyone, and welcome to Spanish 1010 at King University. My name is Matthew Harrison, and I'm excited to be your instructor for this semester. I always like to take a moment at the beginning of every class just to kind of introduce myself so that there's a real person back here. There's not a robot teaching your class, especially in online courses like this where there are no face-to-face meetings. I think it's just nice to sort of get to know your professor a little bit. And I'll also use this time to go over our syllabus and talk about deadlines and all those important things that you need to know. So first, we'll begin here with my contact information. You have my email address here, mharrison1@king.edu. Please don't forget the one, mharrison1. A lot of people forget that. Email is usually the best way to reach me. I always respond to emails within 24 hours or less. We've all had those professors in college where you send an email and you wait a week to get a response, and then by that point, you don't even need the response anymore. I always swore I would never be one of those people, so I always try to give you a response within 24 hours or less. In the event that you do have an emergency, I've also given you my cell phone number here so you can call me personally as well. I do ask that you please do not call me at midnight. But this number is here for emergencies if you have an issue. But as I said, email is usually the quickest way to get in touch with me, and you will get a response within 24 hours. Our course, Spanish 1010, is Spanish language and culture. And as such, it is divided into two different components, one of those being survival Spanish, and the other being a cultural awareness component. So each week, you'll be doing some things with the language and other things with culture. And I'll talk to you about that more in just a moment. There are no prerequisites for our course, and this is the text that we're going to be using, Latin American Popular Culture. Um, in the past, when this course has been taught, there were actually two textbooks, and I saw that and I was like, what? No way. I don't want to make you buy two of them, so I scanned some additional readings and put them in Canvas, and so you will have some other things to read other than just this book, which is very short. You'll have some other things to read, but they're all in Canvas. You only have to buy one text. It is available in the bookstore if you want to buy it there. However, I suggest that you consider purchasing it on Amazon. I pulled it up here just by typing in the ISBN number, and it's selling brand new for $29.05 right at this moment. You can also buy it used for cheaper options and so on and so forth. So it's not an expensive textbook in comparison to some of the others I'm sure you bought for college. So I would think about just getting that ordered as soon as you can. Make sure you have it. I know shipping has been slow with COVID, so I just wanted to reach out to you to let you know, hey, this is the book you're going to need. When you type in the ISBN number to pull up the book on Amazon, make sure you take out the dashes where it will not pull up for whatever reason. So as far as what you need for this course, other than the book, I'm just asking that you have a computer with a webcam and audio video capabilities. So there will be some discussions in this class where I'm asking you to make a video, particularly when you're practicing your spoken Spanish. I'll be asking you to make a video, and for those videos, you'll need to show your face. So that's why you need the webcam and the audio capabilities. Obviously, you need internet access. That's sort of important right now. And then aside from that, I'm just asking that you have the Microsoft Office products like Word and PowerPoint, those kind of things. Um, our goal is for you to get an overview of Spanish language and Spanish culture. So you can see here a topical outline of all the things that we'll be covering. Um, it's a 5-week course, and there are 5 modules, one module per week. We start with something really easy as far as the Spanish is concerned. We start with greetings, introductions, numbers, the alphabet, and how sounds work. We sort of get a little more advanced. We talk about clothing, shopping, and making purchases. And then we continue to get more advanced. We talk about giving directions and asking for directions in Spanish. We talk about travel, how you secure a hotel room, travel related to flying, and those kind of things. And then we end with ordering food in a restaurant. So you get some very real life type things. My goal for you is that upon finishing this class, you can travel to a foreign country and be okay in terms of introducing yourself, asking for directions, ordering your food, those basic things. So that's the Spanish language that we'll be discussing. As far as the cultural components of Spanish, we'll be learning about geography. People always think, oh, they only speak Spanish in Mexico and Spain, and that's just not the case. There are 21 Spanish-speaking countries around the globe, and we'll be learning about those. You'll also be learning about some famous Spanish artists. popular sports and celebrations that take place throughout this Latin America, and also some pre-Columbian civilizations like the Aztecs, the Maya, the Incas, and finally we'll end up with some music and gastronomy, which is my favorite. We'll learn about food. Who doesn't like learning about food, right? So fun stuff. It's a pretty packed course. There's a lot in 5 weeks, but it's an interesting course. As far as the due dates go, everything is always due on Sunday at 11:59, except for Module 5, that very last module. Because of the way that our course is structured, our class ends on a Friday. So Modules 1 through 4 will be due on Sunday night at 11:59 p.m., and Module 5 will be due that Friday at 11:59 p.m. That's just the way it's structured this time. Um, you do have the ability to work ahead, so everything is open to you on day one. I'm actually going to open the course a little early for you as well. So if you want to go and get started and power through, by all means do that, but you do have to meet the weekly deadlines. So what I mean by that is Module 1 is due on week 1. You have to finish Module 1 by the end of week 1. If you want to work on to Module 2, that's fine, and you have to finish Module 2 by the end of week 2. But don't wait until week 2 to go back and try to do Module 1 and Module 2 at the same time, right? It's too much in 5 weeks to try to do it in anything less than 5. So please make sure you're keeping up with those deadlines. There is a tentative course calendar at the end of the syllabus, which I'm going to show you in a second, and we'll talk more about. As far as how your grade is determined in this class, it is a combination of, as I said, survival Spanish and culture. So you get a combination of the language and the culture. We'll take a look at Canvas in just a moment where you can see how these are broken up. But for the cultural component, I'll go ahead and just show you here. In Canvas, obviously you'll have to complete your course expectation agreement before you can see any of this. But once you've done that, we'll scroll down just a smidge here, and I'm going to come back and talk about this in a moment. But here in Module 1, you can see everything. It gives you the learning objectives for this module. And then we've broken it down into cultural studies and language studies. So for the cultural studies, you can see here it gives you Module 1 cultural readings and videos. And if we open that, you can see here it shows you what comprises Latin America. It gives you a reading, and it tells you, here's the link. You just click on it to open the reading. And then you have some videos you have to watch here, 3 short videos. Then there are some optional readings. If you're just interested and want to read more, you can. You do not need the textbook for Module 1, and I did that on purpose because I know it'll probably be coming in the mail, so you can still get started. Those are your cultural readings and your videos. Once you've watched those videos and completed the reading, you have some cultural homework, which you can see here. And it's actually about the videos. So as you're watching along, you can answer these questions. You do need to answer them in your own words. And if you are using someone else's words, if you're citing, you want to make sure that you cite that appropriately using MLA format. So that is your cultural reading and your cultural homework. You also have a cultural discussion board to complete, and these are usually very short. For this very first cultural discussion board, you are picking a Spanish-speaking country, and I'm actually going to assign them to you based on the number of people in the class, and I'll give you that info soon. And then you're just telling us the location of the country, 10 interesting facts about it, information about 2 cities in that country that you'd like to visit, a description of 2 attractions like monuments or anything kind of cool about the city or about the country that you'd like to know more about, some kind of cultural tradition or aspect, and some cuisine, some dishes of that country, and then just anything else that interests you. And you're just typing this up in a little discussion. You're posting it down here. There's a grading rubric available telling you exactly how you're going to be graded. After you upload your post, you do need to make sure that you reply to at least 2 classmates in order to get full credit. And your reply needs to be more than, oh, cool story, that was interesting. Make sure you actually read it, and I can tell that you provided something thoughtful back to your classmates. Okay, so that's the cultural component. So as you're looking at the syllabus, that covers the cultural homework and the cultural discussion boards. As we take a look here at Canvas still, you see that was just the cultural part. We also have the language part of Module 1, and there is a vocabulary list. If you open it here, you can download it. It's a Word document, and it has all the words that you're going to need to know for Module 1, all the vocabulary. And they're all there. I've also created a Quizlet with some flashcards. So if you open up the Quizlet, these are virtual flashcards that you can use to study all of these terms. And it gives you the Spanish word on one side. As you click on it, it gives you the English word on the other side. You can actually click the word and it will say it for you. It's not working right at this moment. But normally you can click the word and it will say it for you. I like the Learn feature over here as I'm studying these personally. You can just click on them and go through them one at a time, but Learn is nice because the ones that you know, it just takes them away and it doesn't keep giving them to you anymore. And the ones that you're struggling with, it keeps bringing them back sort of for repetition. So I really like the Learn feature. There are also some cool games down here if you like learning with games like matching and gravity and fun things like that. So those are kind of fun. And as I said, that's your vocab list with all the words in English and Spanish. You also, so up here you had those cultural readings and videos. Down here you do have some Spanish language readings and videos as well. And as you open that, I have a little video lecture for you about every module to watch where it just gives you some practice activities and things you're going to need to know. So that's here for you to watch first, always, the teaching video. Once you've done that, there are just some examples where you can hear some native speakers of Spanish actually speaking and using these phrases that you learned and this vocab that you're learning. These are very short videos, like usually a minute or less. So it looks like a lot, but they're really not a lot. So make sure you watch those. Once you've done that, you have some homework about the language to do. And that homework usually takes place in Google Forms. If you've never used Google Forms before, they're really cool. You have unlimited attempts on the form, so you can do them as many times as you need to until you get a grade with which you're satisfied. I recommend doing them until you get an A. And you need to make sure you use your King University email address. If you do not use your King University email, I will not know who you are, okay? So please make sure that you use that so I can tell who you are and give you a grade. Pretty self-explanatory. I'll open one of these just so you can see what it looks like. It asks you for your email. You're going to type in your King email, and it gives you some questions to answer. How would you greet the following individual? And you're just clicking the right answer for all of these. And at the end, you click Submit. It gives you a score. If you don't like your score, click Submit another response and do it again. They should be pretty quick. You have 5 of those the first week to do. As I said, they're very quick. So for language studies, we have studied our Quizlet, we've watched our teaching video and the example videos, and we've completed our homework. Once you've gotten to that point, you have a quiz to complete, which only covers the language, not the culture. More practice with the language. These are all in Canvas. They will grade them for you automatically, but I do go back and grade them by hand as well, just in case there's something that it counted wrong that it shouldn't have. I always go back and double check them just to be sure, give you points back where I can. And then finally, once you've done that, you have an assessment, a speaking assessment. And this takes place in a program called Flipgrid. If you've never used Flipgrid, it's a lot like the mobile application Snapchat. With Flipgrid, you have the choice of doing it on your computer with the webcam, or what I recommend doing, it's a lot easier on your phone. If you have a smartphone, it's just download the Flipgrid app. It's a free download. It's super easy on your phone, way faster, way easier, in my opinion. If you do it on the computer, you just need to click on this link. If you do it on your phone, download the app, and it will ask you for a code. And that code is right here, 6134EFBA, and that's for this very first one. When you do that, it will take you here. It asks you to sign in. I will sign in here so you can see. Okay, it's being complicated tonight for whatever reason, so I don't want to take time to do that. But as you log in, it will just give you a few questions to answer. They're very easy, and I've given you an example video of myself answering these questions so that you have something to go by. And your video is private. Only I will be able to see it. No one else in the class will be able to see it. So you don't have to worry about like, oh gosh, everybody's watching me. You don't have to stress about that. And if you have any trouble, as always, please let me know. And that same format of what you're doing, cultural reading a video, cultural homework, cultural discussion board, studying the Quizlet, language reading, language video, language homework, quiz, and speaking assessment. You follow that same pattern for every single module. I keep it consistent for you so that it won't be confusing for you at all. The only other thing that you have in this course, in addition to those assignments, which are again listed here on the syllabus, we've talked about cultural homework, talked about cultural discussion boards, talked about survival Spanish homework, quizzes, and the speaking assessments. The only other thing you have is a final research project. And I've sort of broken it down into small steps for you. In every module, you have something you're supposed to do each week to prepare you for that final project. So let me go to the bottom down here where it talks about the final project. And the directions are here. I'm going to go ahead and just open this so we can pull it up and look at it together. Okay, so you have the option of doing either a research paper or a presentation. It can be either one, whichever you choose. Some people prefer to write a paper. Some people prefer to do a presentation. It's totally up to you. I personally am more of a fan of the presentation, but some people like writing papers. So either way, whatever works for you. And this is pretty open. So my goal is that you're going to pick something from the class that interests you. It can be a certain country. It can be sports in in one of these Hispanic countries. It can be the music. It can be the food. One of these topics that we're talking about. And I want you to research that topic and then create some kind of either paper with a works cited or a presentation with a voiceover and a works cited. And my goal is for you to talk about the background of that cultural process, highlight a few key players in the cultural practice. So for example, if you were to pick sports, then pick a few athletes. If you were to pick music, then pick a few famous musicians, so on and so forth. Tell us about the values and the worldviews and beliefs that underlie that culture. And talk to us about how the identity of the people who practice that culture are shaped by whatever you chose. So this is pretty open. You can leave it and talk about things that are interesting to you personally, things that you personally want to learn more about and research. And it tells you here about formatting that you need to use. It tells you about due dates, what you're doing in each module. There's a grading rubric. I gave you a rubric for the presentation, and I gave you a rubric for the paper. So whichever one you choose to do, you do not have to do both a presentation and a paper, just one or the other, okay? And again, it's all pretty clear here with grading rubric telling you exactly what to do. Please make sure you do not plagiarize. Make sure you use your own words. If you you do need to obviously cite sources and incorporate other things, and as you do that, just make sure you cite it with the appropriate MLA citation. If for any reason you need help with MLA formatting, just hop back over to Canvas, go to the very top up here under General Course Information, and you can see where it says here MLA Formatting Guide with step-by-step directions to help you there. Okay, so this final project, as I said, you have a small step to do each week. So in Module 1, it tells you that you are telling me what format you're doing, either a paper or a presentation, and you're selecting your topic, and you get a grade just for doing that. In week 2, it tells you here that you're going out into the world and you're finding sources online that sort of talk about that topic and give more detail about it. So again, you get a grade just for doing that, and you're going to cite your sources in MLA and upload that in the works cited. In week 3, you're giving me an outline, just bullet points of the main points you're going to talk about in your presentation, and I'll let you know if I have any feedback or anything for you to do differently. In week 4, you're turning in a rough draft of your project, which I will read and make corrections and give back to you. And then in week 5, you're just turning in the final version. So kind of step by step. I like baby steps, so it's not overwhelming, hopefully. So we have talked about all of those things you're going to be graded on, the cultural elements, the survival Spanish elements, and the final project. There are detailed examples of all those things listed here. Again, always due by Sunday night at 11:59 p.m., except for that final week, which ends on Friday. Make sure you complete the course expectation agreement. Again, that's here at the top of Canvas, so you can do that. Grading, I will always get things back to you within at least 1 week. I always swore not to be one of those professors that takes forever to grade things. I understand that we are living in a pandemic, so I will try to be as flexible as I can with you in regards to late work. Normally, I take off 10 points for each day your assignment is late. But again, I know we're all doing the best we can right now, so just do the best you can. Inclement weather does not affect us in online classes. We will continue as scheduled. It's all online. That doesn't apply to you. This is the grading scale we're going to use for our class. I want you all to get A's, so do your work and do a good job. Um, Again, make sure you're using your own words, or when you use someone else's words, make sure you cite. Plagiarism is very serious at King. It can get you expelled forever. So please make sure you do a good job with that. If you are a student with a disability and you need any kind of special accommodations, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you with anything you need. If you have problems with Canvas, you can email helpdesk@king.edu and they can help you. And then finally at the end, you just have a tentative course calendar. This is everything that's due for every module. Obviously, it's all listed for you here in Canvas under Module 1, Module 2, so you can look at it either way, but some people like to just have it in front of you with a little due date. So it tells you here, these are all the article you're reading, the videos you're watching for culture, the video you're watching, or the videos you're watching for the language, the Quizlet you're reviewing, and then all your assignments that are due, the cultural homework, cultural discussion board, um, Spanish language homework, Spanish language quiz, speaking assessment, and then that first step of your research project, all due by Sunday at 11:59. There's one other thing I'd like for you to do for week one. That is to introduce yourself. I've given you a little discussion board here. Under general course info, you see the syllabus is there and the tentative course calendar. And then there is the discussion board. If you open that, this is just a get to know you thing. It just says, please use this form to introduce yourself. And I've written a little bit about myself here, just to give you an idea. And I also have a little presentation for you here. So I am Senor Harrison. I am an adjunct faculty member here at King University. I've been teaching Spanish now for about 5 years. And I will tell you, I just absolutely fell in love with Spanish. I'm from Kingsport, Tennessee. I went to Dobbins-Bennett High School, and I had an amazing Spanish teacher who just changed my life, made me fall in love with the language. And I will tell you, guys, I'm from East Tennessee. I never thought I would learn how to speak a foreign language, but she just really believed in me, and it made me think, gosh, I could do this. And so I did. I fell in love with Spanish. I went all the way through Spanish 5 in high school. I did my undergrad at ETSU, where I double majored in Spanish and business. And then I went on to do an MBA at Tennessee Tech University, and I also did some graduate coursework in education and pedagogy. And now I'm working on another master's at Appalachian State University. So I'm crazy. Um, as I said, I love Spanish. Some other things that I enjoy, I love teaching. I love my job. Amazon is my best friend. I have a shirt that says, here comes Amazon, right down my driveway. Very true. Love watching Netflix, coffee, spending time with my family and my friends. These are my animals. This is my very fat cat, Tomas. This is my dog, Riley, who passed away a few years ago, but I always like to include her photo anyway because she's still my dog. I love the beach. The beach is my favorite. I love traveling. I've been to Italy. I've been to Spain. Love traveling. This is Cinque Terre in Italy. So those are just a few things about me. I included basically everything that I said here, and I included some photos of myself. I'd like for you to do the same, just so we can get to know each other. This is a completion grade, so just to get to know you there a little bit. So this is a very quick overview of what to expect here in Spanish 1010. But as I said, if you have any questions about anything at any time, please, please, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to me via email. Again, my email is here at the top, mharrison1@king.edu, and I will always be here to help you with whatever you need. I look forward to having a great semester with all of you, and if I can do anything to help you, let me know. Have a great day. Thank you.